What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Stardust here. Welcome back to my third video today here on the YouTube channel, and we have some really interesting news coming up from the brand team of Marvel's Avengers, CD Nikki, of course, the head of that division. So, someone asked, Nick about this quote he said right here, but we've never held stuff that was ready. News and game updates generally go live as soon as they're ready. Obviously, I reported that on my previous video. Marcus Wayne says, Nick, I appreciate you coming in here and providing feedback from time to time, but you're saying that the announcement of Jane Foster, which seems like it was leaked months ago by someone in your company to a content creator, just coincidentally happened to be finalized and ready the morning after the trailer for a movie featuring Jane Foster as Thor was released. I said this myself. It also seems like Jane isn't ready, as there is no date for when she would be released, and that seems counter to your org's messaging as of late, which isn't to commit to things unless you are confident in the date when it can be delivered. It makes sense to coordinate and release things with the MCU calendar, but it seems odd to try and say this wasn't the case here and you weren't holding back info when all available evidence points to the contrary. Now, really well put out question there by Marcus Wayne, but we do have a response. So CD Nikki mentions Miller in this, by the way, which is really interesting. Says, so this will be a bit of a long answer, apologies. When you say content creator, I'm assuming you mean Miller. Honestly, I don't know if he's getting real leaks or just guessing. Personally, I figure it's 6 to 5 and pick him if it's a low quality leaker or just guessing. If someone does leak him information, it's genuinely an unauthorized leak. Authorized leaks are one of those myths that don't really happen because no one has time to play 11-dimensional chess about update announcements. And I'm the last person who you'd admit leaking to, because I'm the guy whose day gets ruined when some moron decides they want to be internet famous for a day. Trust me, it's deeply frustrating to have someone drop a thread that's 90% BS and one real fact. Now, obviously, if you're just listening to this, by the way, just really clear, Miller, I like you. This isn't me saying this, I'm just reading it, okay? Jane is now ready enough that we're confident committing that she's definitely coming, and she'll be in 2.5, but she's not quite ready enough that I'm willing to commit to a hard date, though we have what I suspect is a pretty decent guess internally that doesn't yet hit my confidence level bar to put out in public. I should be clear that I'm in no way saying that we don't look at the MCU calendar when we think about our schedule. The fact that Jane is reaching this level of readiness at this point in time isn't a coincidence, but I am saying there's no artificial delay to the announcement. So, obviously, a little bit of a dig at Miller there by the brand dude of Marvel's Avengers, CD Nikki. Basically, just it doesn't seem very aware of Miller. Just seems to understand that a lot of the pre-hype for Jane Foster was from Miller, which it was. So fair enough on that one. And also, saying that essentially, yes, we made Jane to coincide with Love and Thunder. That isn't a secret. Then there you go. So we have a bit of kind of more confirmation about that MCU synergy right there. So someone said, hi Nick, thanks for this insight. Probably late to the party and you've probably moved on, but I'll shoot my shot. Are there plans to be more open and transparent with the future of the game moving forward? I'm sure you're aware of the constant where's the roadmap kind of stuff, and I certainly understand a desire to not get caught announcing something you may not be able to deliver on, but this radio silence only seems to feed into the notion that the game is not a priority for Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix, and that there's no money to properly release content at a pace that is typical for a live service game. Speaking personally, I have limited any in-game purchases to very small on-sale type things, as the lack of communication since the holidays has made me question the long-term health of the game. Is there a middle ground between being more transparent while also keeping things close to the chest? Now, as we know, roadmaps as we know them are basically done, right? I mentioned this in my previous video, but CD Nikki did respond to this with a pretty juicy level of stuff. So why MMV? If this answer is satisfying or not, but here it goes. I don't have final or unliteral say on what gets announced when and how, though I probably have more say than most people in the studio, but this is how I personally think about it. My preference is to get you guys information as soon as it is reasonably short on a decently frequent cadence. Roadmaps were rough since we had to lock down months of announcements way before many of them were ready, and on top of that they were long/difficult to make, in part because we were going so far out on the limb, a lot of folks needed to have a hand in or sign off on the roadmaps. What we've we've done twice now in Feb and today feels better. We're talking about fewer updates that are less far out, but we're able to talk in more detail, and because they're easier to put together, do them more frequently. The February update discussed one upcoming patch, 2.3. In this update, we're able to do more and talk about 2.4 and 2.5. My desire going forward is to keep doing these kind of updates reasonably frequently, to keep the community updated about the next few patches, doing our timing / content / readiness. So hopefully in the next one we'll talk in more detail about 2.5 than this one, and be able to reveal some information about the update after that. So if anyone wants to know, okay, so what is going to replace the roadmaps, it is going to be a system like we have seen very recently. So that is, that's pretty cool, but we're not done with that. I totally get the desire to know the long-term future, but if you'll pardon the analogy, it's like having to commit to Thanksgiving plans today. I'm pretty sure I'll celebrate it somewhere and that there will be a meal starring a turkey, but whether I'll be at my place or my family's, what sides will get made, will I bother to watch the football game, those are things feel like they'd be guesswork this far out. And I do understand what he's trying to say. Obviously, other games are able to commit to that roadmap, but I also understand this isn't that sort of game. They have their own challenges, they have their own situations, and personally, I do believe the community are just more happy to hear something. I would definitely rather hear what's going on than fancy pictures telling me what might be in the next year, you know what I mean? Now, revolving the idea of Echo Heroes. So, All Father Media, you might know him on Twitter a lot, does a lot of great edits and stuff, posted on Reddit talking about how if we're going to have Echo characters with Jane, let's go all out. Moon Knight as Black Panther, War Machine as Iron Man, Bucky as Cap, etc., right? CD Nikki responded saying, while I understand the temptation to extrapolate, there you go, about future content from one announcement, I'd caution that the Mighty Thor announcement is just that, an announcement of one hero. Heroes are going to end up on a spectrum of uniqueness. There are some shared similarities on the existing roster after all, and we expect different heroes to end up in different places on that spectrum in a way that's hopefully true to their comic book roots. So he's not saying there won't ever be an Echo again, but he's also saying that, like, guys, don't worry, it's not just going to be all Echoes from now on until the end of the game. We are going to be having different heroes come out, which is great. Obviously, that is better than, basically just kind of being like, look, okay, we want to get heroes out fast, so let's just keep doing Echoes, because I feel like as much as people are kind of excited about that concept, just to get their favourite hero in the game, right, I definitely think that people would prefer, my apologies, heroes with different playstyles, like Captain Marvel's probably going to be really fun when she eventually releases. She-Hulk's probably going to be more wrestling based, so a lot of grabs and drop kicks and stuff, and stuff like that. And I definitely think that when Avengers shine so much on their combat, it would definitely be a shame if they just completely ignored that just to get heroes out as soon as possible. So this answer definitely makes me happy. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is all that I have for you for this video today. Do apologise about some of the start reading the video. It has been a crazy one today, and we have been stacked full of content, but hopefully you guys can get something out of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.